I'm really pleased today to have the opportunity to talk to you about mixing skin tones using Stockmar block crayons. In most Waldorf schools and Waldorf homeschools, the Stockmar crayons are most readily used because of their beautiful colors and the wide variety of color that's available. And in the past, my experience has been that I would purchase a set of 8 crayons for my students, and those were the colors that they would use for the first number of years in the classroom, and then some of the newer colors would come perhaps the end of 2nd grade as the children became more advanced in their drawing skills. But these days the children are really awake to many more things, and we too can teach through drawing. When it comes to skin color and skin tone, we want to be as open and inclusive as possible to include many more varieties of color in the drawings that we do when we illustrate our stories. So this video will take you through some of my experiments of mixing colors, because the Stockmar colors are wide and varied, and when they're used in creative ways, you can find many opportunities to have a full range of skin tone in your pictures. Here in this little class of children that I have drawn, I have used what I call the out-of-the-box skin colors. And these are colors that you can purchase from Mercurius or Paper Scissors Stone or A Child's Dream Come True, some different places where the Stockmar colors can be purchased. And here you will see the names of the colors and the code numbers that are related to the Stockmar or ID numbers. These ones that I've marked with the red star can be found in the standard assorted set. So if you buy your 8 colors, you will get rust, which is the regular brown color, and golden yellow. If you buy the 16-piece set, you also get this yellow-brown color. You can also purchase what's called a supplementary set, which has 8 additional colors, which are 2 additional blues, a gray, a pink, 2 browns. Actually, this is yellow ochre, this is Venetian red, there's a brown, and then what's the 4th color? The 6th color. Oh, here it is. This is it. So this supplementary set will allow you to have these more varied shades. So these 2 blues are very helpful to have, and gray is also interesting to use in skin color, and this pink, which is also important. But then here it brings you some more brown colors that allow you to have more varying tones. So this is the yellow ochre color, this is the umber color, and this is the Venetian red, plus the pink. And then rust is your regular brown that you have. Yellow brown comes in the 16-piece set, and then golden yellow, which is in most of your standard sets. I have found that as I start working that this golden yellow really isn't my first choice. I really enjoy the variety of these colors, and through blending them with other warmer colors, I've been able to find a really beautiful arrangement, which I'm going to explain to you further as we go. The next thing I want to show you is a series of color experiments that I did mixing 2 colors together. So here's a chart that I made where I have the golden yellow, yellow ochre, yellow brown, rust, Venetian red, and umber. And I repeated those colors multiple times, and then I overlaid them with additional colors. So I have here orange, vermilion, carmine, and red violet. And you can see as I overlay the colors, they create different varieties of shades and tones that change the color of the original crayon color. And you can see that the variety of colors is really quite wonderful. Then I created them using the cool colors, and I did the same 6 colors here: golden yellow, yellow ochre, yellow brown, rust, Venetian red, and umber, and I overlaid the 4 blue colors that you can get from Stockmar, which are the blue, ultramarine blue, cobalt blue, and Prussian blue. And here this doesn't work so well, makes your faces look green, but as you go further towards the darker browns, these actually create in some ways some really interesting darker shades of brown. And then here what I did was I took those same 6 colors, golden yellow, yellow ochre, red, yellow brown, rust, Venetian red, and umber, and then I took some of these other colors, which are lemon yellow, pink, gray, and olive green, and I overlaid them on top of those same 6 colors, and here you get a very nice variety of lighter shades of skin tone. Similar colors here, but one of the wonderful things that you can do with your students is have the children hold out their hands and compare colors of the skin tone so that they can get a sense that skin tone has not only warmth to it, but also has coolness to it. And so there's some combination of warmth and coolness that creates the liveliness in skin tone. And so when making images with the skin tone, I always recommend never to use just one color, but that there's always one color overlapping another. The next thing I did was I took those 6 colors, golden yellow, yellow ochre, yellow brown, rust, Venetian brown, and umber, and I crossed them over with the same colors. So I have golden yellow, yellow ochre, yellow brown, rust, Venetian brown, Venetian red, and umber, and I overlaid them on top of each other. You can see then that you can have much more finessed colors for skin that is more in the red variety, more towards the reddish tones and the warmer tones. And then you can combine by adding on top of those even a 3rd color, which will bring in perhaps some of the blue tones. These experiments are really interesting because the more you spend time thinking about them and thinking about your students, all the variety of skin tones that we see out in the world, some of these work and some of them really don't. And so you have to experiment to find the combinations that are really going to be most effective in your classes. So here, again, I like this this cobalt blue. I think this is it. Yes, a cobalt blue. So I marked these with a diagonal because these are places where 2 layers are the same color, so that they really don't change anything and as far as the variation. But the colors on either side, so this is this one here is yellow brown with yellow ochre, And then this one here is yellow brown and yellow ochre mixed together. So those two are basically the same color. So what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to overlay the cobalt on these, and we can see what can come. The cobalt will bring a coolness, but it will also bring some darkness into the shades, bringing things a little bit more into the darker realm. And if you think about it, in many of these, I'm actually combining the three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, to make these very interesting colors. And say the stronger that you put the blue on, the darker the color will get, or darker shades. Now see, once I get to here, it's more yellow, so it's going to start to turn a little bit greenish. And so you might spend a little less time putting the blue in. But then here, this is a nice variation. Here it's just the umber color and the Venetian red, but then here it has the cobalt blue in it, and it makes it a really nice dark black skin. And whereas here, when I just had the umber with the cobalt, there isn't any warmth to it. Whereas when I bring some of that Venetian color into it, look at the difference. It makes it so much warmer. There's a real sense of life and warmth in the skin. So this is three colors mixed together. So you can see the more you experiment with bringing the colors overlapping each other, you can also develop in the children a new sense of seeing, a new ability for them to see the variations and make choices in their drawing or what they feel is going to be the best. Because in some cases, you might actually want some of these warmer, redder, hotter colors if you want to bring emotional content into the story in your picture as well. Because, you know, imagine if the person is mad, then you're going to want to have some real flush in the skin, to have a real ability to show anger in the skin. Those are things that I think about. And then looking here back at the ones where I did with the gray, sometimes people's skin, you know, if they've lost their color, there's a sense of fear or frightened quality to their emotions. You might pale them out a little bit so that there's, you know, this is a cool color, and so then you would pale out the skin, and then they would look more scared. Or dead. Even, you know, if you had a drawing of somebody who had died in your story, you might want to put a little bit of gray on their skin so that they have a sense of loss of blood, loss of this vibrancy of life. So those are my thoughts about skin color, and I encourage you to experiment, but always remember that the most dynamic and interesting skin colors that you do with your students are going to be a combination of 2 or 3 colors. And that way you will get the most variety of colors. Really very exciting. I enjoyed this experiment as well. So I hope you did too, and I encourage you to try it out.